Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crumpet Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. We might be running a little late, but we always on time. And tonight I'm trying to figure out something because I'm confused. Cardi says she had that rock, but now you look like you got them divorce papers. It must not have been that wet. We're going to talk about it tonight. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another edition of the War Zone and tell you that you are, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest audience in the world. And I do apologize for being late tonight, but if you've been watching me, you know where I've been. City council meeting in Lafayette, Louisiana, and they running 4 and 5 meetings back to back. So that's what made us run a little late tonight, but it is what it is. In the news real quick, of course, we saw today that Breonna Taylor's family is going to get $12 million. Well, they're not getting 12 million because Crump getting 3.3 of that. Then we look at taxes. So they might walk away with about 5 million. Here's the problem I have with it. We bust our behinds in these cities, you know, these kids go off and we got to get out there and fight with them. And sometimes we just fight the battle. And people like, well, you still got the criminal side. Do you know how, and in my opinion, it's just my opinion, that when you take a settlement before you've even arrested an officer, you're setting the game up a different way. So if they're not convicted, then guess what they're going to tell them? At least you got $12 million. You know, but as I tell y'all, the man come through with all the fanfare, get the money, he gone. Oh, he's a civil rights lawyer. Man, find you another attorney. That's just how I feel, because now, to me, you've devalued the whole situation, and I don't think it's going to end the way that a lot of us want it to end. Demetra?
And Donovan, before we jump into our main topic, did you want to expound upon that?
Well, yeah, a little bit about it. It's just it's the same playbook that we go through over and over again. I mean, everybody wants to get paid. And it seems to me that we are willing to sacrifice our loved ones and our principles just to get a paycheck. And it's like the general said, one of the things in the settlement, supposedly, the pre-settlement thing is they're going to do police reform. And they're going to do a better job of doing that. Now, there was another settlement in another case where they were supposed to have done that, and the police union said, no, we're not doing that now. And see, so everything that was agreed upon, there's no enforcement after the fact. Who's going to enforce any of this after stuff after they get their money? Nobody. It's going to go back to the same old thing, and we just keep falling for, oh, yeah, there's going to be police reform. Oh, yeah? Based on what? Who's going to enforce it? Yeah, you got an agreement on paper that says that's what they're going to do, but how many of them actually do it? Zero.
Yeah,
so here we are, square one, once again.
Yeah, and I've actually read a little bit about it. A lot of people are saying that doesn't mean that criminal charges are off the table, but I think we've seen enough of those cases get settled that kind of just go away. And I don't want to come off as that we think Breonna's parents are like, oh, we got $12 million, it's a wrap, let's go home. I think they still want justice for their baby, but a little money won't help to ease, won't hurt to ease the pain, but more than anything, I really do hope that they pursue justice. So I guess at this point, it still remains to be seen, because a lot of people are like, nah, they still need to go to jail.
I think that you wait. I think that you peel back the layers of the onion on justice. I mean, we in a dogfight out here in Lafayette. but we want the body cam released. Then we want the officers fired. Then we want them indicted. The thing I like about the Pellerin family, it ain't about the money. Money just gonna come with it. But the justice comes in the form of making these people pay for what they did. And I just feel like this is the reason that you had to do the Harlem Shuffle and the Cupid Shuffle and you dancing with the cops and all that because this was the game from the gate. Let's just get the money and go. And I say this man coming to our community, he do the same thing every time. You leave us to deal with the collateral damage. That's it for me.
All right, and so hello once again, you guys. Welcome to this very late edition of the War Zone. We didn't want to completely go without doing something, and so normally we don't do a whole lot of trivial issues, if you will. And I'm going to go right off the top and say I believe that this Cardi B situation is trivial, but it's late, and we don't want to work that hard. So we just gonna keep it low hanging fruit tonight. It's okay to let your hair down a little bit and all of that. So anyway, you guys have probably seen breaking news, right? It's breaking news. It's been all over the place that Cardi B and Offset are getting a divorce. Now nobody really knows. Just basically said in the documents that it was irreconcilable differences, if you will. But the divorce is contested. But it came out that. Or it didn't come out, it's speculated. We'll say that Offset cheated again or whatever. So Cardi has filed for divorce. Also said, and I'm gonna say a lot of these are rumors right now, that Offset is also petitioning for full custody of their child. And it's been a running joke, if you will, on social media because, as you guys know, Cardi B has the #1 song in the country. That song has broken so many records, this, that, the other. And what song am I talking about? I'm talking about WAP. You guys know what it stands for at this point. And so also within that song, she says things like, I don't cook, I don't clean, and I still got the ring, and a whole host of other stuff that I'm not going to repeat. But as I said, people have been kind of making jokes and stuff. I don't personally think it's a laughing matter, if you will. You never want to laugh at the demise of people's relationship. But, to me, it's a wide open discussion. Like, we don't know why Offset is cheating or if he is indeed cheating. But, is her WAP really dry? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to even try to turn this into some sort of an intelligent conversation, right? So, fellas, y'all, I'm gonna follow y'all lead tonight. Me and Michael Myers, we just gonna chill in the cut.
You never want to see somebody get to divorce. I've been divorced twice, and that second one was really tough. And we don't really know what happened, but they kind of set themselves up for the jokes. You make these types of songs and like it's a game. But it's something definitely was wrong. Because Carter's a nice looking girl. And we can't say she was too hood for him because he was hood. So, they kind of fit perfect. But a lot of times when I look at these celebrity marriages, I don't think they're going to work anyway. Because everybody got money. So when something happens, you're more inclined to say, the hell with it. I got money, I can go. Than the regular poor married couple who will fight it out. So yeah, I'm gonna bring the jokes tonight, but I'm gonna start there because I've been there and I know how tough it was. And but if it ain't wet enough, get you some WD-40. That's all I can say.
I don't think WD-40 is what you need. You're going to need that silicone based lubricant a little bit better. But no, I like to look at it, from the other side of it. And divorce is not a good thing, but then you got to look at the person that the people that got married. Okay, you're both in entertainment, like the general said. When people both got money, that's always going to be an issue. But then it isn't like Offset, and I don't really know who Offset is. I wouldn't know if he's walking down the street or anything like that, but it isn't like she didn't know Offset didn't have children and he had issues with relationships. You know what I mean? It's like this baby mama come out, he's paying child support for this one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And she's allowing all of that to go on. So, you know, the way I look at it is like this. I think Cardi is getting out while the young man still has money to support the child that she's got, because she would be liable in some states, some of her income to help support his children. Because if you come out here in California, and if there's anybody that has money and you're in a union with that person, not all of it, but depending on the situation, some of that money is subjected to support your spouse's child. So I think she's probably just, she said, you know what, I'm gonna get out while the getting's good, and just she's gonna deal with it from that point.
Well, I think she got her own money. She had her own money when she went in. And I'm gonna be honest, when they that big, you ain't commingling your money like that. You ain't doing no joint bank accounts like that. They money stay separate. So, baby, if you want to go, okay, I'm gonna fight for custody, but you go with your account, I'm gonna go with mine. And I'm gonna tell you that's how that's how I think it'll go. And just whatever he has to pay, from a court order issue for child support or whatever, he'll pay it. But here's the problem: these dudes don't be having that type of money, man. I hate to break y'all heart, but them rappers don't be having that type of money, man. This man was signed to somebody. He on no record label. So she might be getting out now, because when the last time the Migos had a hit? You ain't selling no records, then they gonna pull a Master P on you and tell you got to come up out this highs, man.
So from what I understand, I don't know how true it is, but it seems like Offset has more money than she does. But I just think, we know it's not a secret that he cheated on her once before. It was very public. She didn't want to take him back, and he did a whole bunch of stuff, went on Twitter and cried about it, and even ran up on the stage as she was performing with some flowers. Please, please come back to me. And so, I think whether she cooked or she cleaned or didn't do all of that or whatever, I don't think that had anything to do with her. I think that's just who he is. If indeed that's what the situation is, but it sounds like it is. I don't think it has anything to do with her. I think that's just who he is. And I think that's true for a lot of people. That's just who they are. And, I really feel bad for her, because she takes him back after, he goes all these shenanigans. He didn't, get on one knee, baby, 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 please. And, all that other stuff. And then he's still out there doing that. So this lady was dead set on going about her life. She wasn't going to take him back. And then she says, all right, we got a child together. I'm going to take him back, this, that, and the other. And then you out there again. It's like, why shouldn't I kill you? You know what I mean? Now I gotta, go through. I'm kidding about the killing part, but it's like you knew you wasn't gonna do right when you came back, and here we are. Now, not only have I been publicly humiliated once, but now you're doing it again, and then now you want custody for what? Well, what do you want full custody for? You don't even have full custody of your other 3 children. Now all of a sudden you want full custody of our child? To me, it sounds like there's a little bit of spite going on. Well, if you're going to leave, then I'm going to keep the child. We talk about a child, not no animal.
Well, as you know, he that has the child gets the money. You understand, how that rolls. So that's always important. Now, how many of us men are in situations, have been in situations where the child is used against us? And because for some reason, the court says that the child is better with the mother than the father, because there are some stank moms out there, and there are some good dudes out there. And a lot of men nowadays are taking responsibility for their children. But the funny thing about this, when I woke up this morning and I heard about the divorce coming down, I was like, the one thing I got out of it was if the if black people would do what Cardi B did and just say, I'm done and I divorced myself from the Democratic Party and I'm gonna go do my own thing and get my own thing, maybe we would be better off. I'm just saying, maybe we'd be better off because we're in an abusive relationship.
Damon, let me get this real quick, y'all. How you doing, Damon? He says she didn't have to take him back. Yeah, she did, but the other part of that is he didn't have to do all he did to want to come back. Listen, you got a child with somebody, you love somebody. Okay, people are entitled to a mistake, I guess. It just depends on who we're talking about. People are entitled to a mistake. So you did all of that to come back, and you came back and continued doing the same stuff. Y'all know Cardi B stupidly is facing jail time because she beating up strippers that he was sleeping with. Now that's on her. I'm not saying, that he caused her to do that, but it's like you did all that to come back to continue, doing the nonsense. Like he could have stayed gone. So I gave you a chance. We worked it back. We thought we was working it out, and here we are again. So I can't necessarily, completely blame her for that. He knew he had ill intentions.
Cardi ain't no victim. Because, regardless if they wasn't together, they were still married. But she was in the club dancing, just in the club at that point, showing naked ass, like we say down in Texas.
They weren't married.
Why they wasn't? They were separated.
She did all of that before they got married.
Well, my thing is, I'm trying to figure out why the average marriage nowadays don't last but a year and a half. But them old people stayed married 40, 50 years. Motherfuckers don't need to get married. You need to shack up. You need to be dealing with some temporary wop. Figure it out before you get off into it. I'm just being serious because you get married nowadays, you last on a year and a half. You messed off that 1995 at the courthouse, and now you're talking about we getting a divorce. I want my $20 back then. I ain't going through it no more. Somebody want to take a chance on old Monroe, marry old Monroe. It's a shotgun wedding this time. I'm not coming out.
Well, what say you, D? I mean, I've been there, done that twice, and some people are on different things. People have different wants and needs, but a lot of people for some reason think that these and the journal can speak more about it. A lot of people think because you're a entertainer, the money's always going to be there. Now, what a lot of people don't know is one of the biggest pimps in the entertainment business is a Babyface or a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, because they write the music, have people perform it, become famous on it, but they own the publishing. So I'm just saying this for the mumble rappers out there and all this other stuff. Now, D, you're old when New Edition is on the casino circuit, right? So we know we're at that stage, right? I have yet to see in 50 years, or let's say 30 years, the Amigos doing a casino circuit and getting paid for, performing. And just like NWA and Ice Cube. Yeah, you don't really see Ice Cube and NWA performing because we're grandparents now, a lot of us, and stuff like that. So we're not really going to be supporting that kind of stuff. R&B, of course, maybe some local stuff, maybe if they perform there, but because he's not going to perform later on as he gets older, that money's going to shrink and shrink and shrink because nobody's going to be buying that music. So these guys don't make as much money down the road unless, of course, they're behind the scenes and they got publishing and all that other good stuff.
They don't make as much money when they sell 2-3 million records. Like Cardi first album, she went platinum, am I right? The average that you make off a platinum record on your first rip is about $20,000. What you see is if you go watch the TLC, because I watched it the other day, you go watch the TLC movie and you listen to and then you watch New Edition, you hear the same things. When New Edition got the check for $1, whatever, well, you have to pay for this. The label puts up all the money. So to even make you look a certain way, you know what I'm saying? With the jewelry, with the fly clothes and all that, you paying for all that. When you get the advance, but you know, because this how they do you. They tell you we're gonna give you a $250,000 advance, you know, for a production advance. Well, they gonna cut you a check for 250 G's, but the money is to actually create the music. So what the average artist try to do is go find their little partner JoJo that got some Pro Tools and have him do a whole album for about $700. And then they get to keep the rest of the money. You see what I'm saying? So they got to live off of that money and try to live this extravagant lifestyle, you know, but what you see ain't what you get. If I'm wrong about it, and I'm going to ask Demetra, I'm going to start with you. Puffy had a roster that was one of the hottest rosters in the history of hip hop. Well, where all them people at right now? Craig Mack and Biggie dead. Lil' Kim look like she got money? Okay, well, let's go to another one. Let's go to another one. No Limit. All the soldiers, the No Limit soldiers. Where they at right now? A couple of them back in the projects. I give you the best one because both of y'all know this one. Death Row. Ain't nobody on that label got no money but Snoop. So the thing is, you're right. The money is in the publishing. That's why I've written for a bunch of people that I can't tell you, NDAs. I've written for some heavyweights, but I want my money. And you know, the funniest thing I ever seen was one morning on 97.9 The Box in Houston. Neo was on there, and Beyonce was running around when he had the unbelievable what was it called? Some song. Beyonce blew it up. And Neo said, I don't know what she tripping for, because she don't get no publishing off that. I wrote that song. Nobody believed him until he sung it live. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at the numbers, they give you the numbers of what they made, what the projects and the record labels made. They don't give you the real numbers of what they actually took home. Because, you know, New Edition sold millions and was still living in the projects. Demetra?
Yeah, and so somebody was saying that I think they're saying Lil' Kim still has money. I mean, she has about $500,000 net worth. Obviously, that's nothing compared to what she had. And yeah, Irreplaceable is the song that you're talking about, that Neo wrote, yeah, for Beyonce. But yeah, I mean, we know that there's not a lot of money in that unless you are, you know, doing your own producing and publishing and, you know, you own your masters and all that. The entertainer really is just the puppet. They just, you know, they get up there and perform what everybody else has built. And so, I mean, I don't know. You know, somebody said too, you know, distance and all of that, you know, could cause a wedge or drive a wedge in your marriage or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I guess. But, you know, to me, I just think there's people who live in the same house and ain't faithful. So I really think that's, you know, that's on the person. I don't really think it's on the distance as much. I just think it's the person. Some people just have a propensity to cheat, not to be faithful, whatever the case is. And, you know, certain things, like a lot of times people, especially, you know, like to say stuff like, oh, well, you know, Facebook made me cheat, or you need to get rid of your Facebook because you're cheating on Facebook. Well, you know, Facebook and any other thing is an inanimate object, and it doesn't have any power on its own. It just became another tool for people who are not faithful to use. You know, I mean, where was, you know, me and Mrs. Jones meeting? They was They was meeting at the cafe.
Did you really think that marriage was gonna last when both of them were still in the script club?
Well, you gotta also take into account that Cardi B is only 27. So I know chronologically she's an adult, but hell, just think of us at 27. 20, I mean, you know, I had my child when I was 21, so I had to grow up at 27, you know, and I don't know. I just think, you know, I don't know what their issue was, but I just think obviously they weren't ready for whatever it is they were trying to do, you know?
But wait a minute. She said she got the ring and the bling and didn't have to do those things. And just like our topic says, the WAP wasn't wet enough. So if that ain't gonna keep the brother there, what's gonna do it? What is gonna do it?
I like to throw a flag on the field real quick. I want to throw a flag on the field. I'm waking up now. I've been up since like 4:30, so you know I'm waking up a little bit. Y'all know good hell goddamn well. It ain't no WAP, no doc. None of that gonna keep a man that don't want to be kept. Y'all can either the woman could be cleaning asshole naked in the household. Now we at the dark, so I might say a couple cuss words. She could be cleaning asshole naked from top to bottom, cooking T-bone steak and letting you eat it off her body. And that ain't gonna make no man be faithful. What makes a man stay faithful is the man, not the woman.
Well, what man, how will a relationship survive? As an artist, we draw, one place where we draw from with our creativity is from our personal experiences. When we write, you know, it's easy for me to write a song in 15 minutes because I'm writing about stuff that I know about, stuff that I feel. So because the first wife told me after about 12 years, one day she sat me down, she said, you know what, I listened to your stuff. And she said, everything that you said in them songs, you actually did. Yeah, every single thing. Because it was easy for me to write. So if we go back and we break down the WAP song, break it down. She telling you what she don't do. I don't give a damn how rich you is. Take your ass in there and cook me some grits. I want some fucking bacon this morning. I don't want the maid to do it. I want you to do it. You if you're gonna play the game, you're gonna have to be a wife at least once a week. At least once a week. I mean, these folk get married as celebrities, they don't even take care of their own kids. And that's why I don't know when they get in a divorce, they fighting over who get the kid. Well, you ain't been raising a motherfucker anyway. The nanny been raising them. Give it to the nanny. But when you think about some of the stuff that's in that song, yeah, you cold as ice water, but maybe she just didn't put a hump in her back like a Halloween cat. Who knows?
And even if she did, that clearly didn't make him want to stay. I mean, like I said, I think it's up to the individual, who's cheating or whatever. It's up to them. I mean, we all know of women and men, you know, because men and women get cheated on. We know of people who have done all that and then some. Oh, I was everything. He didn't want for nothing. Oh, she did, and they still get cheated on. You know, I'll tell you guys a story. I have a very good friend who shall remain nameless. Not you, Donovan. Shall remain nameless, but you know, he got back with his child's mom. You know, he was not of the faithful type, and he begged her to come back. Oh, we gonna work it out. We gonna be, you know, parents to our child and all this other stuff. She didn't come back home a good month before he got caught. You know what? I ain't gonna tell you what he did, but he got caught. Okay, got caught, and I said, "Are you kidding? Like you just begged this woman to come back? He was gonna do right and all this other stuff." He says, "You know what? I just admitted I'm a great father, but I'm a horrible boyfriend." He said there was nothing she did, you know, to make me want to do what I did. He says, I'm just a horrible boyfriend. I said, well, at least you're honest.
Well, I'm going to say this. Okay. Now I got it figured out and reading the comments here. You got to understand the human species is still an animal. We're the highest animal, okay? And if you look at the animal species, the alpha male in a group always is the only one that gets to mate with all the females. So, ladies, I know you guys don't want to believe this. We are pre-programmed to sleep with as many women as we can for the perpetualness of our species. So it's not
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yes, it's not our fault.
You
know, so
that's what I used to say. Cause I'm like, it ain't my fault when it's going down like this, mate. I mean, cause I you know, I done got caught up a few times, and the thing is, it wasn't my fault.
So I mean, but think about it though. If you look at the animal kingdom, what do the animals do? I mean, it's the same thing. The guy comes around, bears or whatever, he comes around, he mates with the chick, then he's ghost. He's out of there. You got it. You can handle it. Now, unfortunately, the Lord has put this thing upon us to where we do these things. So you could be a Cardi B, a beautiful woman, talented, money, and we're just pre-programmed to do what we got to do. And I know that's a really terrible excuse and everything, but there's some fact to it. That's what I'm going to tell you. There is some fact to that because, I mean, I've seen it over and over again. A man can have the perfect woman. She does everything, he would want her to do. And he just slips up somewhere down the line. It just happens. And that's not an excuse. I'm just saying, even with what we think is the perfect marriage or the perfect union isn't so perfect when you pull the curtain back.
Wasn't my fault.
Let me drop another fact for y'all. Y'all ready for another fact? Here's another fact of nature. The black widow also kills her husband. Should we as women start running around acting like black widows?
Wait a minute. A black widow is not an animal.
Wait a minute, my ass.
The black widow kills her husband. Well, do you know that some of us have Cedric the Entertainer syndrome? I wish a mother would.
How you gonna know if you dead?
I ain't stupid enough to go sleep in the hive when I done messed up. I'm gonna just stay out. I'm gonna deal with it. We can meet tomorrow and talk about it at the police station, in front of the police station.
Black widows are very clever. I just want y'all to know that.
Now remember, that's an insect, not an animal, because it's very few female animals that kill their mates. Okay, insect politics are totally different than animals. But let me ask you this, Demetra. Being that they are now in this situation, do you think the divorce is going to go forward? And if it does go forward, how much do you think this is going to cost?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, people do what they want to do. The heart wants what it wants. I heard that. I don't know where I heard that from. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I was her, just me personally, in hell, I mean, you ain't gonna get 3 times a strikeout with me. You've already exposed yourself. That's who you are. That's what you do. I'm not gonna have you come back for a 3rd time, and I'm peeping around corners and all that other stuff, hopping out of bushes on you, trying to. I'm not gonna take myself through that. So I'd rather just be done. You come get your child every other weekend, whatever you gonna do, But I'm not going to subject myself to you and your behavior. You going over there with her or them, whoever you with, you ain't going to do it with me.
I'm over here sucking my teeth. And get what I tell her? Bye. I'll be there in 2 weeks. Have my baby stuff ready. I'ma holler at you. Where you finna go? To the strip club? You forgot?
Well,
wait. We on your way to the strip club. Just don't spend my child support money.
Well, until you get that court order, it ain't your money.
That's it. Now, I'm kind of shocked because I'm looking at some of the comments, and some of the beautiful ladies in the comments are saying 3 times. And they're like giving this guy 3 chances. I mean, I'm appalled because do you know what? Most men, we won't even give you guys a second chance if you guys mess up on us. So, I mean, you guys are very benevolent. So
I think you got to look at some of the things that have been going on. Let's discuss the WAP. You can tell when a woman got that WAP because when she leaving, he trying to do her something. He trying to do her something, or he gonna do her something. Some of them don't make it, and I'm being honest with you because from a psychological standpoint, a man can't do it 2 times. He can't do it 3 times because the first time, the only thing he envisioned in his mind is everything you did to him, you doing it to old boy now. That's why you ain't getting no second chance. He ain't gonna let you make it. So if you run around here, because I've been watching y'all, some of you viewers, I be on your pages, 50 years old, 6-pack, ass like bow. And you think old buddy gonna let you make it? You gonna be in the newspaper or you pitch on a t-shirt.
Oh, you gonna let me make it? Because what you're not gonna do is try to put no chain around me after you done did all you wanted to do. I'm out of here. You gonna let me be up out of here? Otherwise, I'm gonna call my daddy.
Now that's one thing that I ain't never did. If you want to be free, I'm gonna set you free. I'm when it get to that point, I'm like Harriet Tubman, just go on and run off to freedom. Bye. Cause I ain't finna fall out with you, man. Man, you can be Kunta Kinte with a half a foot. Just run off to freedom. I ain't finna hold you. I'm just different, me, because that's the thing about me. I never handcuff. If the wife want to have a girls' night out, like, go enjoy yourself. Go do your thing. Well, what you finna do? I'm finna sit and read this book. I love to read. Man, go handle your business. I ain't the dude that be tripping on what they wear. If she was dressing like a hoe when you met her, what you think you finna do? All of a sudden you telling them, see, you know, some of these dudes kill me because some of y'all do this. You met her at the strip club. Now you want to turn her into a Sunday school teacher. Brother, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. So, you know, it's a lot that comes into play. But I'm telling you, the celebrity marriages, I think Jay-Z and Beyonce shocked me the most because they done toughed it out. And Beyonce knew what Jay was doing. Everybody in the industry knew what Jay was doing. You see what I'm saying? But they stuck it out. And that's why I mean, just some of these folk with this, we've been married 6 months, we gonna get a divorce. You better give my 1995 back for that marriage life. I'm not playing with you. I want all my money back.
yeah, you know, and have you guys noticed that, like, you know, and of course you want this big wedding. I guess it's a thing that, you know, a lot of women, you know, dream about, and it's a big thing, whatever. But usually when they have this super huge wedding, it's over within a year and a half, and you spent like $30,000 or $60,000 in the hole, and you know, and you guys go your separate ways. I've seen in situations where people go to Vegas and they pay the $20.
One wedding, Gary Monroe, 75,000, a year and a half.
Right. Exactly. I've seen people go to Vegas, spend the $20 through the drive-through wedding, and they, you know, some of my friends are still married that did that, you know, and some, you know, it might last 4 or 5 years, but I've seen people put down a chunk of change, and it doesn't last past, you know, maybe a year and a half at the most. But you know, I just would have to say for ladies, and this is one thing maybe it's just a question, Demetra. You guys noticed that Demetra said that if shit went left, she's calling her daddy? Why did she say that? I find that a lot of women, in my experience, they all get in these relationships with these men. I don't care what their background is. And the men have not met their family or uncle or their brother or anything like that. father, whatever the situation is. And then when the woman is in a bad situation or a domestic situation, the first thing comes out of their mouth is, well, nobody's protecting me. When a man knows that there's nobody around to protect you, he's going to take advantage of you, and he's going to not in all cases abuse you, but he knows you have nobody around you to guard you. And so when you said I'm gonna call my daddy, that just clicked for me, because there's a lot of women out there. This is one of the things, you ladies, if you're single, you need to think about this. I'm not saying you bring anybody around your family and stuff like that, but you're dating. So, your uncle, your daddy, your brother, introduce them so that we can sit down as men and say, look here, dog, that's my sister right there. Any problems, anything, we can discuss it. And I'm going to know where you're at. A lot of women don't do that. They don't bring the male figures in their community around the people they date. And then they wonder why the guy that date them dog.
And I don't think that conversation would have went like that with my sister. And he'd come around, man, I want to meet you, man. I want to marry your sister. But what the hell is you waiting on, homie? I got the U-Haul. I can go get you a U-Haul right now so she can get her shit up out of here. You take that headache over there, homeboy.
So absolutely, I have a very close relationship with my father. I mean, he's getting up there in age, but he loves his daughters. Okay, he loves his daughters to death. He loves his daughters into the penitentiary if he got to. But that's a whole different story. But somebody, a couple people in the comment section was talking about shacking. Some people said you should shack, and it looks like some people say you shouldn't shack. I would say it's whatever you want to do. I mean, ain't no piece of paper ever made a person do or not do something, right? It's just a piece of paper. It takes the people to, in the relationship to want to do right. But, I walk with my daughter every morning. We do about 5-6 miles or so every morning. We have, a lot of conversations about a lot of things. My daughter will be 28 at the end of the year. And I always have people ask me, you have any grandkids, or why don't you have any grandkids? And they're almost kind of like shocked that I don't. And I said, just me personally, I've always tried to mentor my daughter in making sure you get in a conducive relationship to where if y'all get married, that would be my will. But it's up to you. Get married to somebody who is going to be there to help you raise the child, and really just have a really full-fledged relationship. And I understand now with the dating apps and all of that, like it's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, right? But I also, told her too many times, especially now, people are getting in the bed too soon. They're not having conversations with each other to, first of all, see if I want to continue to date you. The first date, second date, they screwing. And then, all the good judgment goes out of the window, and, because you're all built on the feel good and all that. And I said, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't even be going to a man's house right away on the first date. And all that. Y'all meet at a coffee shop or, somewhere public, so you can, you move all of those temptations out of the way, because you don't want to end up, catching a bad one, whatever that means, getting into a relationship that you really didn't want to get into. Now you're stuck, you got a baby, or, God forbid, whatever else. Make sure you weigh that man. And that's what my father always says. Weigh that man. If a man, weigh that woman. Take her to court and make sure that is who you want to spend 18 years plus, because the plus is now you got to pay for colleges in some states. Make sure before you jump into bed with that woman or that man, you ask yourself, would I really want to be engaged with this person for 18 years if it didn't go right? Is this person going to work with me? Am I going to be able to work with her? Is she going to have me in and out of court? And, just a bunch of madness. And, you ask yourself those questions. Or what has she or he actually done for me to want to engage in a relationship with that person? Do they just have a big ass? Do they just have a nice car? They took me to get some crab legs and shrimps. I guess that's the going thing now, that what makes them worthy of being in a relationship with me. And if you can't come up with a good answer, you need to say, you know what, it's been real. I'll catch you on the flip side.
I think you should shack up. I think you should give it a test run to see if you even like being around this person every day. I think you should give it a test run to see if you like waking up to this person every day. Can you deal with their living habits every day? You know, you're gonna find out if a motherfucker gonna cook them grits for you. Cause you know, the same way women find out about men flaws, you know, after the chase is over, because that's when y'all normally find out, you know, the bullshit we be on after the chase is over. You know, you're gonna find out something about her too. So I'm not gonna bash the women. It go both ways. I just think that there's no effort being put into the fact that people don't understand that relationships are hard work. It takes patience, it takes communication. You know, if I'm not see me, I shut down. I ain't finna keep doing all that goddamn arguing. I stop talking. I stop talking. I move out the room. I go in the other room. I ain't finna keep doing it. And that's something I gotta work on, but that's me. You know, the first wife, she couldn't. Why you wear your socks to bed all the time? Because my feet cold. Shit, 20 years I wore them socks to bed. You can't deal with it? Find you somebody that look like they've been climbing trees. But I'm gonna wear these socks to bed. So I think that because of the way you're meeting these people with these dating apps and all this, if you're finna get to the point where you're thinking about marriage, I think you should give it a test run, figure out if this dude can pay bills, if he can be a provider, before you go lock in on that paperwork. It's easy to get in that paperwork, some of these states, but it's hell getting up out of it. You see what I'm saying? So that's my opinion right there.
Yep. My girl Shannon says, "So why date if you're not looking for marriage?" Well, maybe you just got that itch and you just want to get, scratch it. I don't know.
She said, "Why date? Why date if you're not looking for marriage?
Correct.
Everybody you date, you ain't gonna want to marry. I'm being honest with you, man. You know, I see you looking fly, man. She just, oh man, go on a couple of dates, and then after that, okay, she come by the hive, and that's when the tricks start. Y'all done heard me say it before. Everything that glitter ain't always gold. So I need to know if this the real you. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm so stupid me. I'm gonna have you crying laughing. Cause I'm gonna pull your eyelashes. Your shit ain't real, I ain't fucking with you.
It's funny that we're talking about this because Demetra was a witness. I had a girl that had everything you could imagine, just body down, beautiful, whatever. Demetra would come over to my house. Demetra, tell a story.
I thought he was gonna jump off a ledge. This lady had him stressed out. I'm like, dude, is it worth it? Like every time I come over here, I'm like, golly, I don't think that's your woman, dog. I don't think she's for you.
But I'm looking at some of these comments, and a lot of women got some great pointers. But all that shit go out the window when you end up in the situation. You can say what you're gonna do right now. But when he give you the deck, that's a totally different story. Cause like Donovan, you say you about to jump off that ledge, it's him. You don't know real love until you about to jump off that ledge. That's when you gonna know. You gonna know something ain't right. It might be that wild.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, and I don't like to say this a lot, but I'm almost 50 years old, okay? And I don't care what kind of thing you got, it ain't gonna make me stay in no situation that's bad. It just ain't gonna listen. I almost said something, but I didn't want to make myself seem like I was not a lady because I am. But the point that I'm making is that ain't hard to get. That ain't hard to get at all. My dad always says, especially for a man, he said a man can get some wop before he can get food. It's the same thing for women. It ain't hard to get that. But I mean, I'm just telling you.
Here's the question, because you the doctor on this show. This you.
Dr. Loomis. Wait, let me tell y'all a story. I'm gonna change my name to Dr. Loomis. As y'all see, I got Michael Myers on my shirt. I won't tell you why I call myself Dr. Loomis, but there's a reason why I call myself that. But go ahead.
Okay, Doc. They can get the deck before they can get a sandwich. So here's the question: why they stand with these broke motherfuckers then?
You know, that's a wait. Well, I mean, yeah. You know, listen. There's a lot of women who get matized, if you will. Okay, that's so. I think that's a real thing. But I think the other side of that, a lot of women, and they shouldn't, but a lot of women get with broke dudes because a lot of women have that savior complex. Oh, you know, I'm gonna make him everything he's supposed to be. I see potential in him. All he needs is a little push and, you know, a little you can do it. Come on, baby. And all of that. I remember speaking, you know, from some experience when I was younger. You know, that's why some women do it. I don't think a woman sets out and say, let me go get a broke dude today because that's just what, you know, he's desirable. I think most women see potential in a man. But I'm going to go back to Shannon's question in regards to why date if marriage is not the goal. I think if the end game is marriage, don't get with somebody whose end game is not. And I think a lot of times we get in these relationships to change other people instead of saying, because my dad always said this, and I'll never forget it, I'll take it to the grave. He says, I don't care what you do, be true to yourself. Now, being true to yourself means I don't want to be married and I don't want to be forced to be married, right? Or if I'm a woman and I want to be married and the guy is not wanting to be married, I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to change him because I know if I just got some wop and I cook and I clean, then he going to want to give me the ring. He's telling you what it is he does not want to do. Go get with you somebody whose end game is to be married. Like, it's a waste of time, right?
I tell you what, like my dad was a mixture of Fred Sanford and James Evans. I got a little bit of him in me. So, you know, I think that you should shack up. And then he'll tell me. He gave me the game. He told me about women. He say, boy, if you got one, you're going to be good. He say, if you got two, it's going to be a struggle. He say, but if you got three, you're going to go broke. Because you got to treat them all the same way. You got to treat them all the same way. So he gave me some great wisdom. So I try to pass this wisdom down to the young brothers and the young sisters. When I, you know, talk to the young sisters, I try to leave that for the ladies. But I think that you should test run it. I think that, you know, before you start thinking about kids, get your career in order, get your schooling out the way, you know, get your life rolling before you get caught up in that. But from the aspect of entertainment, I've been in entertainment. I know the lifestyle. It's a hell of a lifestyle. And if you'd met a wild dude, you know, you already know what he into. So it ain't like you messing with a closed book. Like you don't know what's inside that book. Cardi knew how that boy was. She knew how he was, man. Before they even cheated the first time, she knew how he was. This is a man that, you know, he got the money, he got the career. Women are the least of his worries. He can get that every night. They line up around the corner. So I think she kind of knew, but you know, you never know what he gonna say when they get to court either.
But speaking of relationships, in the news, real quick, Andrew Gillum came out on the Cameron Hall show and he spoke about his situation. Now, I'm not here to shame him or what his sexual preferences and how him and his wife get down. If she likes it and loves it, so be it. But I want to bring attention to the fact that notice He's setting himself up for a comeback because he identified as bisexual, right? However, did you guys notice he didn't address the crack or the meth that was in the room?
Well, see, back when I was younger, when I was in my spring chicken days, I was bisexual too. If I couldn't get no free sexual, I was gonna buy me some. I was bisexual. Remember, I'm the script club veteran. I ain't finna lie.
Yes, but did you notice as a politician, he set himself up to make a comeback, which is perfectly fine. Because I don't even want to address his sexuality, but he did not address number one, lying to his wife, saying he was going to a wedding and that wasn't the case, and then the cocaine that was in the room or whatever it was in the room. He never addressed that. So when we look at a lot of these politicians, you got to kind of look a little bit deeper because they will deflect really, really quick because we're focused on the sex. We're like, oh, well, he's in there with the man and all that other stuff. If his wife is good with it, why does it bother you? You know what I mean?
Realistically, I don't care if he bisexual or he's straight or whatever. If he can do the job, he can do the job. I don't care what he do in his bedroom. That's his business. And I think a lot of people need to get out of that. It is what it is. I mean, as long as he can do the job, I can care less. Remember who my favorite politician was. That'll tell you everything.
Right. Because a lot of people, if you look at the politics, he was being vetted as Joe Biden's running mate until all this blew up. Because what they were going to try to do was reverse it and have the black man as the vice president and the white guy and kind of get everybody up and behind that. But like I said, I don't think his career is necessarily over, but somewhere in the Democratic Party, they are going to throw him there to be like a martyr type person. But, when it comes to relationships now, especially as old hats, things are changing and they're changing drastically. A lot of these people out here, you got WAP, you got bisexual, you got homosexual, whatever it is. And we got to get ready for those changes. And the Democratic Party is going to push that agenda onto us. And if that's the direction we're going.
Let's just be honest, man. And whether it's the Democratic or the Republican Party, it's a whole bunch of people need to come out the closet, man. It's a whole bunch of them need to come out the closet, man. So me, I ain't gonna look whether he a brother or a white guy, whatever. I'm not gonna look down on him. The only thing he messed up on is his business got out. But I mean, at the end of the day, if he can do the job, man, let him go do it, man. You got somebody in there straight right now. Are they doing a job?
Y'all a little too soft on the situation to me. And I say that because y'all know goddamn well, if that was Trump that fell out of a hotel room with two dudes and methamphetamines and bussy juice all over the sheets, the Democrats and everybody else would have had a field day. So it's like, and again, I just want to say, I'm not a Trump fan, but it's just mighty funny how, all of a sudden he's being propped up to be this hero. I got a Twitter account. I was over there and, people like, oh, he's a hero. I was still smashed. Come on with your truth. But if that was Trump, we would never hit the end of it. So it's like, and then this is another thing too. Like, you're right. He gets in the bed with, I'm trying to keep it clean. Who he get in the bed with is his business. But do y'all see what's going on here? This is a black man sitting up here with a black woman talking about, well, I'm not gay, but I'm bisexual. And she's like, oh yeah, I always knew all this other stuff. It's like, y'all don't see what's going on here? What they're trying to do to black men. Why are we, like, I'm not saying we shouldn't applaud him being honest with himself, but now it's this big celebration because this man is out. He got a wife sitting right next to him, and now we throwing up confetti because he's out of the closet. It's like, are we living on the same planet?
First of all, we have accepted the demasculation of black men for over the last 20 years. We have accepted the demasculation of black men. That's why, you can't put African American studies in a schoolhouse, but you ain't got no problem with boys holding each other's hands in the schoolhouse. You ain't got no problem with girls kissing girls in the schoolhouse. We have allowed society to make us accept the demasculation of black men. So, that's why it's not a big issue to me. Personally, me, I'm more concerned with him just doing the job. But, I agree with you. If it had been, Trump, yeah, they'd have threw it, the Democratic Party would have blew it out the water. But I know, and excuse my French, I know several punks in the Democratic Party. That's why I'm telling them, come out the closet. They can't say nothing about him. Some Republicans can't say nothing about him because a whole bunch of them is punks.
Well, and you got to think about it from a political standpoint. If he came out and was running, let's say, for governor again, and he says, I'm going to do student debt forgiveness, how many of you guys, regardless of your stance, would vote for him? If he said, I'm going to do reparations, this is what I'm going to do if I get elected, you would still vote for him. And the reason why I kind of switched this to Andrew Gillum is I'm trying to show you guys the difference in how a political party, if you really want to win and make a comeback, it isn't that hard. It isn't that hard. If you say if you say the right things, people don't give a damn. Hey, if it's going to put money in my pocket, it's going to save me something. If Andrew Gillum was the governor of Florida and you were a Florida resident and he said, I'm going to do student debt forgiveness, even though you just caught me with my side dude, a lot of you guys would still vote for him. And this is what I don't understand about the Democratic Party. If Joe Biden wants to win this ticket, all he's got to do is put stuff on the table. Period.
If Gillum was by and Monroe, I'm gonna do student loan debt. You know what I tell him? You go, girl.
I get it. Like I said, I don't have a dog in a fight with other people's sexuality or anything like that. But I think it really speaks more to us as, if we want to call ourselves American citizens, we live in America, so we're that, I guess, technically. But why are we so willing to accept flawed candidates? Now, I'm not saying him being bisexual makes him flawed, but the dude, I mean, come on. He's got a wife and he's in this, this hoedown in a hotel with two dudes and, the drug usage. And then the dude talking about, I blacked out for 3 hours, so I don't know what happened. It's like, come on, man, you gonna get on this TV show and just lie about the whole thing. You know what happened because we saw what happened.
Well, let me ask you a question. And be honest with the world now, they watching. Have you ever had a problem with a gay person?
No, I like gay people. They cool.
You just like me. I only seem to get into it with these straight motherfuckers.
Yeah, gay people, they cool. They got
good.
Cool. Yeah, they good.
I think we got to get. We're in this society now, but we have no choice but to get past this sexuality. If we sit here right now and we say the wrong thing, they'll cut this thing off. They'll shut this page down. But I don't have a problem with it. I just think that he needed to keep his business in house. I believe your business should stay in your house, regardless if you're straight or whatever. And you bring it out the way you choose to bring it out. But if you gonna, if he bi, is his wife bi?
Well, the wife was saying I guess she knew he was bi. I don't buy that. I don't believe she knew. I think, she's what they call his beard, and she's there for his political aspirations, and they just went through the motions. I don't know. Maybe she knew. I mean, it's hard to say, but the fact, look at it. Look, Dr. Muhammad was on the show 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about how good it looked, from Michelle and Barack, and, just really putting forth that good, wholesome image of a family. Then you got the flip side of it, where this man who done got caught with 2 dudes and drugging and all that other stuff is sitting here with this black woman, and she just, I don't know. I just think that, especially we as black women, I can't speak for her. If she like it, I love it. But I think we deserve better. I think we deserve a better representation. Like I would, you know what would have did? I would have voted for him if this one thing happened. If a cast iron frying pan would have went upside his head on Tamarind Hall, then I'd be like, you know what? You got my vote.
We'll never know what he can do because he had his little episode and now everybody know he bi. So I guess we just stuck with these Republican and Democratic straight suckers. Cause they straight as all outdoors and fucking us raw.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get ugly. But like I said, when it comes to this relationship, I always have this mantra. Everybody's looking for Mr. Right and Mrs. Right. Well, how the hell are you gonna look for Mr. and Mrs. Right when you're not Mr. or Mrs. Right? So my thing is find somebody as messed up as you are and try to make it work the best you can.
I don't know about all of that now. I just, be that old lady, that spinster sitting in a rocking chair talking about those were the days. Well, I just think people should get, be honest with yourself. If that person doesn't float your boat anymore, say, hey, you know what, it's been real. I want to go do other things or whatever. Just be honest. Don't take people through stuff unnecessarily. Now, I don't know. Like I said, maybe the lady knew. I don't know. But I can't imagine anybody wanting to be humiliated to that degree. I mean, like, wow. Ain't no way in hell, I'm telling you right now, ain't no way in hell I'll be sitting up there with my good dress on, my hair done all nice and pretty, while you talking about you was caught in a hotel with 2 other dudes, butt ass naked, with crack pipes everywhere. Nah. I don't care how much money they gonna pay me to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry.
Hey, one of the most successful mayors in the history of the United States was a crack addict, and his name was Marion Barry in Washington.
2 terms.
2 terms.
Yeah, he was a crack addict, but did you see his crack? You didn't see his crack, and you didn't see his crack in a hotel with 2 other dudes.
Okay.
His business.
Okay. So he come out the way, however he came out today or yesterday. What about Black Lives Matter? That's a whole bunch of gay people that they trying to put in Democratic Democratic political positions, but won't nobody admit it. Show me a Black Lives Matter group, chapter, whatever, in whatever town, and it ain't a bunch of gay people leading it. Everybody got an agenda.
Yeah, and then it's always us. Well, I won't say always, but it's mostly us being used on the agenda. It's like he could have just went away, went and got him a job at UPS or the local supermarket, and just what I'm saying. Like, but I agree with y'all. I think there's an agenda here. I think it's we're gonna get up there because everybody loves gay people, LGBTQ, and all that. Just come on, that's fine. They'll forgive you. He could have. He could have. I don't know. I'm trying not to step over the line because I know how people feel about it. But I just think that we just really need to open our eyes to what is going on.
Look, we having a real conversation. And some nights we get a little loose. And can't nobody get mad if we were raised a certain way. And we believe in things a certain way. That's where I think all of it gets twisted. Because you expect for me after 52 years to change how I actually think about certain things. I like pussy. And that ain't gonna change. And I'm just telling folks. So if you like, You know the craziest thing? I can't even tell y'all, but I'm leading. I just said what I said.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys remember. For years, the military said homosexuality and military is not compatible, right? So I'm in the military and I'm doing it, and we had a big situation within the military when all this "don't ask, don't tell," then it's absolutely okay to be gay. And so a lot of us old people that are a little older, different generation, we had to come up with a serious choice. Either you can stay there and try to fight a system that now says overnight that this is okay and acceptable, or pack your bags and start going. And a lot of our experienced people and people that had background packed up and left. So, like I said, times are changing and people are changing. There is a gay agenda out there, believe it or not, and it's rot through the Black community. It is hardly going through the Black community as we speak now. But do not be surprised when you see a rugged looking army dude or Marine guy that is like that prototypical Rambo type soldier, and then he's kissing his boyfriend. And when you see that, especially if you're overseas and you see that, is that something you would really be afraid of? Not saying that makes them any less of a soldier, but it does send a message out there of something is a little bit off.
It's just some aspects of the game that military was one of those issues where you didn't expect to see that. What shocked me was, the way it just got open in the school system. Where it became acceptable you take religion out to school, but you let this come into school. And we can't figure out why our kids is messed up. Because you're confusing them kids at a young age. And it's just a lot of things with that. Everybody's heard my views, and I don't care if people get mad at me. I speak my mind. I think that if you were born a boy, Damon, you a boy. And that's what it is. And if you were born a boy, you should be trying to find a wife. That's how I feel.
Again, I don't get into that with people. That's their choice, just like it's my choice to be what I want to be with. But I see Bree on here. How you doing? She says, "Nah, he needed to address it. It would come out. It would come back up. If his dream is politics, his personal decision shouldn't affect his career unless it's things which are directly against his career. It was important he made a statement." Yeah, I guess he should make a statement. But I like to look at it from a hypocritical standpoint. It's hypocritical. Because, like I said, Trump, anybody on the right, if that would have been their story, oh my God, it would have been trending on everything you can think of. So,
they've conditioned our mind. You look at some of the most successful African-American programs on cable or whatever. When Empire first came on, you had to bring the gay into it. And it looks like everything that deal with us is you got to incorporate that into. So it's like they're trying to program us to make us believe that this is okay. You a boy, Damon.
Well, you know what, Demetri? I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the Trump thing, because we have videotape evidence of Trump with Epstein on an island with underage girls and all that like that, and nobody's sweating a bit. The Democrats ain't making a big deal of it. They're not investigating it. They could care less. When it's the rich and the powerful, they can care less. What did Trump say when they asked him about old girl that's being locked up right now, Maxine, whatever her name is? He said, well, I wish her well. He doesn't deny knowing her. He doesn't deny being on the island. Bill Clinton denies being on the island, even though he's on the flight logs, and they have witnesses that place him in the island at an orgy with underage girls, but the Democrats never blow that up.
Let me just say this here about it, man. They know everybody that was there. That's why that boy ended up dead. That's why he ended up dead, man. Because now all you got is some flight logs or whatever, but that's different than somebody sitting in the courtroom saying, yeah, that was you over there screwing that child, man. See, people is messed up in the mind, man. Now, if I'd have got on that plane and it was a bunch of scripples, of age scripples, and Epstein said that was Monroe, you motherfucking right, that was me.
Well, I mean, I guess, like I said, we were just taking a little break tonight, you guys. I saw Karen. You say you don't care about that. Let's talk about Sheriff Villanueva, or whatever his name is, wanted LeBron James to match the reward money to find the shooter of the two sheriffs. And, most people are like, hey, why don't you tap into the All Lives Matter crowd for that? They got money. Why LeBron got to do it? And it's like, really? Like LeBron needs to come up with this money. Now get the Blue Lives Matter people, the All Lives Matter people, because they raise buku money for the cops that kill people and white supremacists. They're good at raising money, but I think he brought up LeBron, to be an asshole, for lack of better words, to try to bring LeBron into it. Then there's also a black man who somebody erroneously put up pictures of him saying that he was the shooter. And the sheriff's department had to say it's not him, that's false information. But he said he was getting death threats and all kinds of stuff, and he's still getting death threats. And I said, boy, people don't wake up. The sheriff department said it was a black man, because it sounds like they don't really know what the guy was, because it happened so fast. But I said they said it was a black man to put a target on every black man. That's why they said it was a black man.
Well, that was, they say we need to talk about the real. Well, did you see the video of the black man and the white man in the store, and the white man told him something, he knocked his punk ass out? Y'all need to watch y'all mouth, man. Y'all gonna have some serious dental issues when all this shit is over. Say, man, knocked him, broke him down like Lego blocks. That's your news from me today.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things developing, but we're just kind of taking a break because we got on here a little bit later. Sister girl get up at 4:30 so I can read and do all of my work and get up, go outside at 7 o'clock and walk 6 miles and all of that. So it's really past my bedtime. So I didn't really have it in me to have a super intellectual conversation tonight. But tomorrow we will be back on track. What are we talking about, Gary, tomorrow?
We got Spencer Falwell coming through. And when I say this brother did his homework on that book of Landfill, and Isaac, what's his name? What's the pastor name out there, Donovan?
Somebody Matthews.
Isaac Matthews. It's a follow-up to that. Y'all don't want to miss this tomorrow night, man, because my man coming through with some shocking documents. And it's gonna shock you. He got his computer set up. We ain't gonna have the connection issues, and we're gonna go in. And the judge in his case, Ursula Hall, I had given her a dual endorsement with Bruce Banner. And you screwing my mans, I took my endorsement back. Time for you to go, Ursula. We're gonna talk about all that tomorrow, man. We're gonna talk about all that. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts is this: somebody, forgive me, I know I told your name up, but she's dropped the Cash App. Please do not patronize that. What is it? It's a WhatsApp or Cash. I don't know what it is, but don't patronize that. But I'll tell you what you can do. The Warzone has a Cash App, Warzone Show, Warzone Show. If you like what you see here tonight and, you feel appreciative, go ahead and drop $1 to however much you feel like you can donate or whatever. It helps the show continue to go and us bring this information to you. But how rude. That's all I got to say.
Final thoughts, Donald.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys, if you guys haven't been paying attention, the Hood CNN is back. Do not miss an episode. I mean, it's informative. It tells you what's going on, and the general is in rare form. Here in California, we got to see the city council meeting there in Lafayette, because remember what I always tell you guys, what happens over there and what happens here in California and what happens here in Chicago, what happens in New York happens to all of us. It's all the same. So we are one collective. So you guys tune into the Hood CNN, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow, because we're going to be having some serious stuff dropping tomorrow.
Well, my final thoughts are simple, that this is the only program where, one of the hosts will go all over the country to get you the truth on what's going on in certain communities and different things. No other podcast do they do that. No other show do they do that. So we're blessed to have y'all as an audience. And every now and then we incur some drama. Every now and then somebody attacks me. They don't never attack Donovan and Demetri. I just feel so isolated some days, but they'll attack me, and they'll say bad things. But who gives a damn? That come with being the best at what you do, and we are the three best at what we do. But tomorrow, make sure you tune in, because you don't want to miss this. It's a follow up to my man. Remember when I was at the church with the bullhorn? We talking about it tomorrow. My man went back, but he went to court, and the judge is looking over him. A judge that I endorsed, Ursula Hall. When I finish with you in November, I'm gonna make that wig sit sideways. Say, man, another spirited discussion. Man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. On behalf of my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetri K, I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow night, we'll holler.